Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the studio, people. It is Jason Gooner, and you know what time it is, people. Yes, the international break is upon us. The squad has been released a couple of days ago. So we are here for Jason Gooner TV's match, well, not match, but squad reaction, because we have a squad listed. We are here to break it all down, let you know who is in the team. You see the title, basically October World Cup qualifying squad reaction. Right balance with a question mark. You know, that's my word when it comes to squad tactics. Balance is very, very important. Very, very important. So I want to see if this time the technical staff got that particular thing right. We're gonna break that down tonight. Also, we're gonna have the press conference reaction. I actually, for the first time, I think ever, I've not listened to the press conference yet, people. I've heard people talk about it and heard certain things that might have been said, but I've not actually listened to it because I wanted to do it live whenever I went live to do the squad reaction. So tonight is gonna be the first time I'm watching it. I know you guys probably would have watched it more than once at this point, but bear with me, people. I'm going to react to it in real time. I think that's going to be actually a nice little thing to do because most of the time when I hear these press conferences, I have some instant reaction. So I wanted to capture that on screen tonight. So yeah, I'm going to listen to the press conference for the first time in its entirety tonight, right here. That's how we're going to start the show. Then right after that, let's get into the squad itself, break it down, obviously show you guys a list of the names, revisit that, and yeah, we're gonna also take a check and make sure, say, you know, yeah, yo, Spengdan, nah, let me forget this, you know, yo, Spengdan, I swear, I might have to link me upon like IG or something, bro, and me go through the midfield and forward them. Like specifically for you, bro. And now let me forget some I never finish from the defender them from that show, bro. We say no cursing. It late enough in a Texacan. The kids gone to bed, everybody gone to their bed. Even though this is gonna depend on YouTube forever. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to curse, you know. Big up yourself, CC. but find out something tonight that it's sweet. Trust me, trust me. Big up yourself, CC in the building. The man with the YouTube channel with no content. I've never seen this before. One time Gooner up, move, big up. Long time I wait for this. Big up yourself in a challenge. Yeah, man. We're there to break it all down. I don't know. I've been listening. I've been seeing what's going on, you know. I haven't listened to the press conference though. We'll do that for the first time tonight. Yeah, I never finished the show, Speng done. Yo, I have to go do something. I have to go do something about that. Because I never finish it. I was going through the entire watch list telling you what I think about the player them, what am I do. I'm never, ever, ever finish it. Fabi say, yo, them hours are too late, you know, remember we need to sleep. All right, Fabi, here we go. Drop a like on the video. The good thing about that program is I always have the live chat replay, so you can feel like you're still a part of the show. Watch it with the live chat or play. Yeah, man, when you wake up a morning, just view it up the whole time. You see me? You can all drop asleep and view it while it a play. But big up yourself, Fabi. But yeah, man, if you can't take the whole show, just you don't know, watch the refix, the replay, the remix. Bless up gigs, what go on? Hope all is well with your DJ gigs. And so link up CC for the JPL predictions. Where you say you're gonna make your subs make money. Yo, you'll get subs fast if you can do that. You stay there. I know who and who I play, man. I just think you'd have finished, but I know say life happens. Yo, Speng, this are the realest thing, because I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I literally life why I'm gonna finish it. Life. Beer things are going. Julie played too much weekend. Next weekend again now. This weekend I go rough again because, well, not rough, but we are going North Carolina for play tournament. A Georgia me there, people, and a North Carolina this a girl side I go play. Yo, this is not normal stuff. But yo, we give thanks to the opportunity them there, you know. New content will be on sports betting. Stay there. I might have to give the hotline number, you know. Graveyard shift for you do. Oh, the graveyard shift you do, Jaja. Amari Bell LCB. I think Spengdan, that's a viable option. Me personally, I see a starting lineup come out for them, one of them two games. I'm say Amari Bell play left center back. I wouldn't be so upset with that. I'm going to be honest with you. Is Rico Henry eligible to play for JA, meaning passport and thing? I am not 100%. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd probably say like 80, 85. That's about my percentage. But last I checked, I thought there was still one more thing to kind of, you know, fully sort. But that could have happened already and I never find out. So that's why I feel like 85. You know, a lot of the things would have been done. Just a couple loose ends. Yeah. But people, you don't know, you know, like, share, subscribe, do the things where YouTube kind of, you know, because YouTube will fight against me from where they, you know. I send out the thing, and people are telling me say the link now work. When them click on the link, when I share, them can't open it and all kind of foolishness. So I don't know if that is happening to any of you in the comment section right now. You know what I'm saying? Hold on there. Something I check people. Yeah, all right, cool. I mean, I multitask. Man, them a bench Pinnock. Hey, Pinnock, I have to see what Pinnock depending on Rob. The last game for Brentford, it looked rough. Rico eligible to play. Okay, I answered that. Personally, I like the squad. It looks balanced. I mean, different from the injuries. Yeah. We need an interview with Pinnock. There's something besides football that seems to be wrong with him. Well, Pinnock don't seem like the media type, to be honest, I think the only time I ever seen him give a long interview, couple time on Brentford website, not a long one, but like an interview. Obviously after game, if him do something, him get interview. But like other than that, I think one time did Manning's man had him on his program. I'm pretty sure they did an interview. I think. Big up Jeremy Lee. How go on, bro? Big up yourself. Hope all is well with you and the family. Yo, the brother is stamping. Who knows every player that have a passport? Me? Is that I don't know if that's a question or I don't know what you say. Fix up. I don't know what you said when you said this YG6 Thomas. Bless up Logan, Wagwan. The squad needs one more LCB or LC for me. LC or LB. For club and country, he seems off. Yeah, it wasn't looking like himself the last time for Jamaica either, to be honest. In the Gold Cup. It's our own goal, Pinnock. Should be not Brentford, something right, him not sharp. Yeah, the ball, I think it was Collins. Collins jump up. It looked like Collins was gonna buck out the ball and like him never reach it or time it right or something. And it looked like Pinnock was surprised that the ball still come to him and boy, it never looked good. It never looked good at all. The JFF YouTube needs more interviews with players that don't normally out there. Just show us another side of those players. Yeah, I do feel like with the increase, there's always like a camera crew around them. I do think they could utilize more of those things, after training, if it's even 90 seconds, 2 minutes. It's a quick thing, Obviously, I know the players don't really want to give their time so much when they're on the windows and just want to train, recover, eat, rest. Them don't want to do too much. So you make it real simple. You make sure that it's not taken away from any activity that they're doing. You try to work around the tight schedule that they have, But I know they probably don't have enough. Ideally you would want a crew, right? You would want a crew of media where you could have like 3, 4 kind of interviews going at different times with different people asking. But yeah, there's not so much media personnel there. It's probably just one person, to be honest, or two, the camera person and the interviewer. He knows every player that has a passport. What do you really think about the squad, Gooner? Logan, that's why we're here. That's why we're here, Logan. I'm going to get to that for sure. Bless up, Jason. Devon Porter. Okay. Yeah. I would think he would have a very high knowledge of that. Yes, I would think you have a very high knowledge of that. The coach said you need to be playing games for you to be selected for the squad. When he didn't pick Russell because of a lack of game time, but Lati got called. He hasn't been playing for his club. Yes, good observation, Stephen Lloyd. Lati Bodir has not been playing games for his club. Recently started to make the bench again, which I guess is good. But yeah, he's been injured, obviously, but been back for a while now and still hasn't really been able to get onto the pitch. Coventry firing, I think what? Six wins, 1 draw, no losses for the first 7 games. So they're doing very well. Jamaica should drop one of these strikers and bring in one more extra midfielder because Hayden and Palmer out for the first game, says Logan. All right. Something to look into with the cards, yes. Why Trevante not in the squad? That's a question that we know will I would think if I was in the room, I would probably ask about that. I know sometimes when you have a squad selected, some folks kind of don't like when you ask about players who aren't in the squad, but I think it is important to ask those questions because one, it could be beneficial to the player himself if they ever listen to the press conference and the answer lends an idea to why they weren't selected or whatever the case is. Um, and also you want the pool to be strong, right? So if the pool is going to be strong, you can't just forget players who don't make the final 26 or 23. Those other players who didn't make it are still a part of the pool. So we're going to still be interested in what's going on with them. What's your thoughts on that player, right? And Trevante would be one of those players I think most Reggae Boys fans would wonder, okay, let's kind of get an understanding of why, you know, you wouldn't be here. Um, let's get that understanding, right? The own goal was egregious, inexplicable. I tried explaining it. You heard me. Pinnock was bent, squatting, frozen in place, and allowed the ball to go in off his back. His reaction time was on vacay, there in headlights. Well, I had one. You always poetic, put things so poetic, you know. Big up yourself. I had one in the building. Never short of an opinion. Normally a strong one. Big up Jason and everyone. Up one bar, Sir Conrad. Big up yourself, From where they are, I like where you're moving, When you get the 4-1, and you take usually the first comment of one bar, sir. Then you hail me up and you hail up everybody. But from them get the 4-1, me not see the one bar, sir. First, Conrad. Come on. Keep the same energy, Conrad. Keep the same energy. How come Kyle Duncan didn't get a call up for this window? That's a good question, Stephen Lloyd. Um, One that might come up in the press conference. Like I said, I haven't heard it yet. As a matter of fact, let me cue that up while I'm going through the comments to bless up everybody. Then we'll get right into the show. If you haven't already, people, remember, smash the like button. Smash the like button. I have to remember to say those things, because it's not really my thing to be saying that all the time, even though I know I should be saying it all the time. So let me go ahead and go to the main source here. JFF Live. All right. All right. Big up yourself, Chronics. No strikes. Left centre back because in the last window, Pinnock was out and Bell and it was all right foot players was in the squad. Very true gigs. So we have replaced them with two players. One is a left back for Jamaica typically, but if you're following his club season and I wouldn't say club career, but if you're following his club season, he has played majority of his games this season at left centre back, and that's Amari Bell. I think it's a natural transition once a left back, left wing back gets into that stage of his career where maybe the peak, his peak physically he's probably at his peak physically or plateaued. Let's call it that. It's a natural transition if the player has the physical ability, the strength, to move centrally. That's what would happen, and that's what we see happening with Amari Bell right now. Even though the last game before this window, he did play at left wing back. They played a back five, and he was playing that more advanced, wide left side player, left wing back. So obviously can still do that as well. Coach makes calls up based on vibes. There's clearly no parameters. Yeah. That's why people say, like, all right, for example, my father, the legend himself, the man say, "Oh, I don't know why you always sending me these press conferences because it just made me hurt me." But I still try to listen and make sense of things, So that's what I'm gonna do in real time this time, Latino playing a ball game, coach. Yo, hey, and you have that opinion, YG, and I mean, you haven't really stated anything that's not factual. He's not playing ball game, so training is what he's doing, you know. at a high level, championship level. Coventry, one of the top teams in the championship this season so far. It is a good level that he's at as a professional, but you would love to see him getting more game or a game. He did explain why Trevante not in the squad, and I agree with him. All right, DJ Hero, that's a great segue because I have it queued up now. I'm gonna play the press conference for you guys. Of course, if you haven't already, go and subscribe and join as well as a member JFF Live. And yeah, this is where we're gonna get it from. So big ups to them. If you haven't already, go and subscribe.
I think we like that. Try to keep the momentum.
Hold on, the people. Hold on. Let me hear what I say from start. Yo, we're twinning. Get the. Look like we get the analyst work, people. Look like we get the analyst work, So the tactical, I think they might ban me from doing the tactical preview show here on YouTube because obviously we can't be giving away the insights to the tactics we're going to use. So people, that show I can no longer bring to you. I'm sorry. Anybody that's been a big fan of that show, to get some tactical insights, I will have to be giving my expertise to Coach McLaren from this point. I'm just kidding. Yo, but should I just keep on saying that going help me out, man, and see how many people believe. One Russell, one Bobby. Don't say advice and coach. I think at this point the coaches know what players he thinks can help him win. So players like Lati will be selected once healthy. Yeah, I think that there is and he alluded to it in the last press conference when he got into it with that reporter about the injuries and the type of players who were injured in a part of his core team, his starters. And Lati Bodre was definitely mentioned in that. So yeah, you have a point there, Rob Smith. Who is going to play in the CDM position against Curacao? That's the $1,000,000 question. I hope it's not Low or Lati. It doesn't work, says Stephen Light. Kyle Duncan is on standby, that the coach said. All right. So a lot of people alluding to the press conference. So I think it's time for me personally to listen to it. But you guys, listen to it with me. And I will react to it in real time. All right. So let me get this off the screen. Oh, what the hell? What the? All right, cool. I already know, people. Boom.
Into the squad, coach.
Let me know if the volume is good.
It's going to be on the screen now.
Thank you, Simon, and welcome, lady and gentlemen.
So
It's great to be back in Jamaica. It's been a quick turnaround.
Thumbs up if the volume straight.
I think we like that. Try to keep the momentum. Picking this squad was just as difficult as picking the last squad, where the last squad we had many injuries, many fallouts in the last minute, and the players who came in did a great job. This camp, this squad, we have many of them players back fit, been training for a few weeks, and so back available. So in terms of injuries, players I couldn't pick for this squad were Warner Brown. Unfortunately, the ankle injury is sustained at the very beginning of the camp, which was very disappointing. They're still not recovered. We miss him.
All right, people. It's a live reaction, so I'm going to pause it a couple times. I just want to know in the comment section. And first of all, big up to one of the mods them on the channel, Eras, in the building. He's going to remind you guys throughout the show so that I don't lose my train of thought and I don't have to keep saying it. Like, share, and subscribe to the video. Big up Eras in the building. Maximum respect to you, my bro. All right. Big up. So we'll get that out of the way. But I want to ask everybody that's here right now, Zine, he started off by mentioning the players that he couldn't select due to injury. Is it telling to any of you? All right, Father Blink said audio very poor. My audio good, but not the conference. Audio good, thumbs up, volume good. All right, cool. So most people, I guess, Father Blink, I'm not sure maybe the device can tweak the sound a little bit because people have said the audio good overall. But I'm not sure. But anyway, one more action. Do you think it's significant that the first player that he talked about is Warner Brown of all the injured players? Because I found that to be kind of, he did the same in the last one too, where Warner Brown was like brought up first. And I have nothing against Warner Brown, but I just feel like, I don't know, man. It's kind of strange to me that of all the players that are injured right now, Warner Brown is the first name that him talk about. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Was that surprising to any of you? Because I'm kind of looking at the pool of forwards, and I'm thinking to myself, well, Warner Brown is going to really struggle, because Shamar, just off of what he's been able to do statistically for the Reggae Boys, I think he's one of those players where, regardless of club form and all that, if he's fit and not out of shape, because that's the only time I've really had problem with Bowser when he plays for us, is like when it's just obvious that he's not on it at all. Him don't look right, heavy, not giving you the work rate, that he's capable of giving you. That's the Bowser we don't want to see. And we didn't really see that the last window. We didn't see a lot of him, but what I saw, I could tell he was sharper. You could tell he's at least training hard and playing games at Tijuana, his club in Liga MX. So Boza is there, right? If I had to pick between one of those two, I'm taking Boza all day, right? I know Warner Brown is younger, has that on his side over Boza, but Boza is just more proven at the international level. I know that the stats look good for Warner Brown. We can't take that from him. But I feel like a part of what made it work for Warner Brown is he was in scintillating form in the JPL, right? He hasn't been able to hit the ground running with Mount Pleasant, injuries, red card. It just hasn't worked out for him. So, yeah. So I just found it telling in terms of the fact that a lot of people that I hear talking about the Reggae Boys and the players and the pool, Warner Brown seems to be the odd man out in a lot of their scenarios. But I'm wondering if Steve McLaren has something else in his mind, because a couple times now where Warner Brown has been put to the top of the heap as far as the players that aren't available to me, Warner Brown's name comes up first. And it's the second time he's done it now. So I just wanted to know if anybody else noticed that. Was it, does that tell you anything? Did you take anything from that at all? Because immediately when I heard that, I remember the last one where people were somewhat surprised how much he kept saying it was this big loss to not have Warner Brown, and whatever I'm saying. Stefan Wright has a take on it, says, Jason, it was more surprising the last time around. The man said a couple of my starters are out, and he mentioned Brown along with Gray and Bailey. So he has Brown as his starting forward. Exactly. And that again to me is what I'm gleaning from it. Yeah, I saw that Boza didn't come off the bench at all last night. I was hoping he would have got some minutes against Monterrey. That Monterrey, one of the top clubs in Liga MX, of course, but no time for him. His club teammate and Mexico have a big game tomorrow. Don't know if you guys are following the U20, but it's been quite exciting. Cuba was able to get a point, which was incredible for them. They're out of the competition now, but I'm sure nothing but pride as they head home. Maybe he's trying to appease the local fan base. I guess, playing to the crowd. I saw something today about no, that's a heavy topic. I ain't even gonna bring that up. But yeah, that could be something to do with it, Drew Russ. But at this stage, I don't know. I guess the game, they do have a game in the stadium on Tuesday, so you know, maybe he is playing the game, or maybe he genuinely believes that if he's no, but now but I go down there. That's a very crazy. Hey, Drew, I want this show to end at a decent hour.
Mikel Antonio, who has been training with Brentford, doing very well. Unfortunately, he's pulled a calf and will be 2 or 3 weeks out, but he's still training with Brentford. So hopefully some things will work out with that. We have Leon.
So hold on. So Mikel Antonio has been training with Brentford. Remember, people, I have not listened to this, so I don't hear anybody talk about this. So Mikel Antonio has been training with Brentford. So I was trying to find out for the longest what is really going on with Antonio. Where is he at? What is he doing? I had heard that he was training with a Premier League club. I did hear that much, but I never got wind of which club. It's interesting to find out that it's Brentford. Interesting. And he got injured. He injured his calf training with Brentford. All right, so he mentioned 2 players so far, right? And let me know if I'm right on this. Warner Brown and Mikel Antonio. All right, so, and this is what he does pretty much every press conference when he's talking about a squad. He'll typically talk about him or talk about the players who couldn't make it for whatever reason, right? So that's what we're going through. So 2 players I've heard so far, Warner Brown first and then Mikel Antonio next, all right? Warner Brown is no good against technical teams. The coach is appeasing speed and JFF. Warner Brown is not good enough for this team, says Markland Barrett. Strong words from Markland there. Look, I think Warner Brown is a player that's going to split opinion. Some people are very some fans are very prisoner at the moment, and I think it started out great for him, and I think because of that, that's what they remember the most. I don't think it was as good in the Gold Cup for him. Did have an assist to Bailey in that game against Guadeloupe, but I think other than that, he was pretty lackluster. But he was banging in the goals early in his time, and I think people just are latching on to that, But I think you're right in terms of against certain opponents, he's probably gonna really struggle, I did hear a rumor from a good source that he was training with a Premier League club, but that person would not tell me which club. And in all my digging, I couldn't find anything. So nice to learn something new, Antonio need that hard food. Is Antonio at Brentford to play? Can he make that squad, or is he there as a favor and to motivate mentor youth? Boy, I had one. I don't know. Wanna need guidance, overseas team. Look, I heard that there was something on the table for him actually to leave Jamaica. But as far as this World Cup selection is concerned, I don't know if the decision he made wasn't the worst for his World Cup chances. Wouldn't say it was the best for his career chances as a footballer. But yeah, I think being the local striker at the moment, or the striker, I should say, playing locally at the moment, that is the next in line, so to speak, lends itself well to having a chance to make the World Cup, and I think he knows that too. All right, let me press play again.
Leon Bailey, who
Bailey.
he was desperate to come and help. But unfortunately, he's just coming back from his injuries, back on the grass this week, working with the team. And we feel it's best that he focuses on getting fit and getting into Roma's team and being available for the November window. Long-term missing Deschamps Bernard. I met him last week at the Sheffield Wednesday game, where he was in good spirits, rehabbing very well. but still quite a few weeks away from coming back to fitness.
Yeah, well, so
As I said,
this,
picking the squad has been difficult because of the players that are available. We have coming back in Andre Blake.
all right. So he mentioned 4 players out with injuries, some long term, some shorter term. Um, do you guys can you guys think of any players that you might remember injured that he wouldn't have put in this list of people? I'm trying to rack my brain and see like which is there a player he might have forgotten to mention, or maybe it's telling that he didn't mention this player. Um, trying to remember the players he named in that press conference. It was these players: Demari Gray, who is back; Andre Blake, who is back; Lati Bader, who was out, who is back. And that makes 7. I think it was about 7 that he's mentioned. All right, so I missed a bunch of comments because I see Rob complaining. Think I'm doing things on purpose again. All right, so let's have a Rob Smith minute. All right, so we're gonna find all of Rob's comments and make sure I highlight them. you know. All right, I think okay. I read that one. I read that one before. All right, Lati Club game has no. I think I read that one too. He's useful in all those positions to the coach. Yes, absolute nonsense and disrespect answer for Stuart. All right, so I have not seen this answer yet. So let me store this in my brain. Stuart form. Okay, what are we doing? All right, cool. So you had an issue. Okay, so I'll hear this, I'm sure, at some point. Big up to each and every one of you that checked in and blessed me up and blessed up the chat. Might not have read it out, but big up yourselves for being here. We have a number in the building right now that's a bit, so let's just get some more. There we go. Whatever we think about Brown gave the coach goals at a time when we needed goals. All right. So Rob say, yo, our goals do this thing. Zine? I said earlier, Brown gave him go. Okay, cool. So I'm sure he likes the player. Yes, he definitely likes the player. I forgot we don't like goal scorers on YouTube. We like Antonio attempted to play right back. That's the kind of strikers Jamaicans on YouTube like. So the man said, "Theme comment them no sensational and sensical." Look on the one, You see it? Rob just as sensational as the rest of them. It's an easy answer. Brown scored goals when the coach needed goals. When Brown sells speed, nah, see no food. Okay, cool. So we read through all of Rob's comments. So that was the Rob minute, that was the Rob Smith minute, sponsored by Gooner TV. Big up yourself, Rob Smith. Travis Peso is here in the building, so it's going to become a heritage versus everybody show and a local versus everybody show. But I have a newfound respect for every Jamaican reggae boys and reggae girls fan, because I have found out that it's that everyone, it's different perspectives. That's all it is. It's different perspectives, people, and we just need to learn to respect everybody. And yeah. What's the explanation for Mother Sales absence? All right, I'm not sure, Pastor, but I am getting this late because I stayed away. I refrained from watching it until I was doing a show on the squad. And I said, I'm going to watch the press conference and then look at the squad again and talk about the squad with the context of what the coach has to say. Because there's no point I speculate on why the man doing things if I just took the time to listen to this and I would know exactly why. You know what I mean? Keyword respect. Yeah, that's a key word. That is a key word. As long as we can respect each other, like we're not going to agree on everything. We're not going to agree, even if even if there wasn't a big local versus heritage fight, which happens between the fan base, right? If we eliminated that and nobody cared about that at all, and we put out a squad, we still would have argued because I still rate this baller more than you would rate this baller. And so it would never happen. It would never happen. All right, let me press play again on this so we can continue.
whose first 2 games clean sheets, so that's good to see. Lati Berdier, who for the past 4 or 5 weeks has been back in training with Coventry. They're playing so well and obviously top of the league. It's difficult for him to break in, but because of Lati Berdier's attitude, what he brings to the camp in terms of he can play left back, right back, centre back. He can play midfield, very versatile, but also very, very good for the team. So we welcome him back. Ethan Pinnock.
All right, so hold on. Just so you talked about Blake, 2 clean sheets as soon as he's back. Lati, this is interesting. So I don't know, you guys follow basketball. Allen Iverson had a famous quote: "Practice." We're talking about practice, right? So when he said he was 4 to 5 weeks in training, my mind went to that Allen Iverson quote for some reason. Because training, practice is like they say, it's interchangeable words, right? In football, we wouldn't say practice, we'd say training most of the time, right? So he's saying he's in training, can't break into the Coventry team, but he did say, and Rob Smith actually alluded to this in one of his comments, that he plays left back, right back, center back, CDM, and that's so useful. And his attitude and the way what he brings to the table in terms of his professionalism is something that he would not want out of the squad if he's available to him. So that should explain to some people. Now, that might not be enough for certain fans, which I understand. You might not care so much about any of those things that you would bring to the table. You want to see the man play ball, and you don't think he plays ball. You don't like the way he plays ball, which you're entitled to your opinion. But I think there's a reason why Latibo there, even last season, when at times he's almost like a fringe player for that defense. So he plays, the midweek games in the season, or he'll definitely play in the cup matches and sometimes even captain the team. And it's strange when you see him captaining the team because he's not a nailed-on starter week to week. But he still gets that respect to get the armband when he does start. So obviously a remarkable professional, somebody that clearly coaches love to have around. So, like I said, some fans ain't gonna like that answer. I'm gonna say, but him can't play ball. So, there's always that you have to work around. But the coach is trying to explain to you right there why Latibo there is playing, even though the first part of his explanation about Latibo there did say he's not playing, he's just training.
He's had a couple of games back, training for 4 or 5 weeks, so he's in better condition. Amari Bell, who missed the last camp with a groin injury, has been playing. I think he was on the bench today, came on for 30 minutes, so it'd be good to have him back. Bobby Reed, he played today, and we've missed him, so we welcome him back. Damari Gray, who's made a very good start at Birmingham and looks more like his old self again. We welcome him back. Roman Burrell, who unfortunately we left out of the last squad, but comes into this one. He's been doing well for QPR. Went to watch him last week at Sheffield Wednesday. He did very well. So that's great. We have 2 new additions coming in. We have Ian Frey, who I've been following for the past year and had conversations with him. He's had injuries. He's trying to establish himself in the Inter Miami team. He's done that. He felt the last camp he wasn't quite ready. But this camp, he feels fit, well and ready and wants to commit to Jamaica, which conversations I've had, he's always wanted to do that. Again, Ian gives us great flexibility, playing right back for Inter Miami, has played centre back, has played 6, 8 in midfield. So again, another player who gives us versatility. And one addition who we've kept an eye on for quite.
Hold on, let me just pause it real quick. Now, I remember when I was talking about this player, I don't know if you guys were there, but I was on I had called in and I stayed on the panel for a long while on Ball Pre TV the other night. And when we were talking about Ian Frey, I did mention that I see his long-term future being more central. So whether that's centre back, CDM, but I see him actually being a centre back. But me personally, in CONCACAF, I would say I would probably prefer to see him not play right back. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on that. I know he plays right back predominantly for Inter Miami, but I don't know, man. He just looks to me like a more central player. Um, that's just my analysis of the player, you know. Um, but yeah, I think it's interesting that he mentioned flexibility with him as well, right back, center back, six, and he even said eight as well, which I don't think is that far fetched to see him playing a bit higher too. Um, I think he's going to use Frey to fill Hayden's role for the next game. Yeah, I think that's going to be what he's going to want to see, right? In terms of in training, he's probably going to say, listen, let's see what he can give us in this midfield role. I think there'll be a couple of them actually in training that he'll be drilling in that Hayden role just to see who can do it. You know, who is most comfortable doing that role, you know? Bless up, Ball Pre, bless up, bless up, bless up. So Lati will play right back, Frey play CDM. So then going to drop decks. Ooh. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I don't think Marshall was quite as tall. But yeah, they have similar styles, languid like that. Yeah. Yeah, look, I would be lying if I told you that I saw him playing six. But I'm just basing it off of like what I see of his attributes when he's playing. To me, it doesn't look so natural with him being on the side, like on a wing like that. And especially, all right, look at the Cavalier game, the first leg especially. That man was having issues with that left hand side. Issues. I think Busy was over there, give him a time. Ian Fair reminds me of Tyrone Marshall, yeah. Follow these fans every window. They want a new squad. Tremaine nor Trevante nor Fleming can't get a look in. Wishful thinking. I think they've been blackballed. What has Anglin done to warrant a continuous selection? Oh, selling him. They say Markland is a must sell him. Dexter playing right back, no doubt. He's starting to get back form. Yeah, look, I wouldn't be dropping Dexter right now. I think Dexter is a streak player, and the last window was some of the best Dexter. So I'm gonna work with that for now. I'm happy to see our captain Andre Blake back. Facts. I think the tactic, you know what I like too as well. Big up Jordan. That you can tell Blake is fit right now. Cause the 2 game when play for Philly, him look good, very good, sharp. I think the tactic may be to add numbers in midfield. Lati offers that inverted from the right back position. That is true, Goontown. We saw that in the second leg of the St. Vincent game, that home and away series. Yeah, man, we saw that. That not even fully fit. All right, so we know he's not much sharp, but he could be fit. I mean, he could be fit. Frey was bought in to play midfield as facts. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Even Tycoon, even I know this don't mean everything, but they list the man as a midfielder in the damn list. And I know that don't mean everything because Damian Lowe lists defender and play midfield. Latibo there lists as defender and play midfield. So I know it don't mean everything, but I'm gonna work with that for now. Rob Smith want to know if Flemings and Stewart play angling position.
A while is Seymour Reid, who I
Seymour
first
Reid,
saw
people.
training with Freddie Butler's team, the under-20s. Under 17, sorry.
Thank you for the correction, Simon.
A few months ago. I was impressed. I've watched him in the second team, and now he's in the first team. He's getting appearances, coming on, scoring goals. Very young, not 18 yet. He's one for the future, but we want to get him in and have a look at him. And so I really look forward to seeing Seymour training with us. That leaves out from the last squad, and I've put on standby Kyle Duncan. Did a great job in training for us. Ronaldo Webster came on the last time, created a goal for us, and Kevin Lambert, who was also very unlucky not to make an appearance the last time, but their attitude, intensity in training was what made the camp so good last time. So they will be on standby, and the only focus is Curacao for the next game. We've had a good start. We need to continue the momentum. It will be a very difficult game. I have a very, very experienced coach, Dick Advocat. I know well from his time also in England. They have a squad full of Dutch players. So the Dutch play a certain style, a certain way, and Dick's certainly got them doing that. So I know that very well. Very good players, very technically very good. And obviously playing at home on the artificial surface will give them an advantage. But, the roll of the ball will be smooth. It'll be like playing on grass. So we have no excuses for that. So the focus is purely on getting the squad together tomorrow, checking on the injuries after today and tomorrow's games, making sure everybody comes through, and then focus on preparation for the game. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions? And I'll take them.
Thank you very much, Coach. Before I open the floor for questions, just a reminder for persons who are physically here and not virtually. Goalkeepers, Andre Blake, Jamali Wade, Tafari Chambers. The defenders, Joel Latipodir, Ethan Pinnock, Richard King, Dexter Lembekisa, Greg Lee, Damian Lowe, Amari Bell, Mason Holgate. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Ian Frey, Bobby Reid, John Russell, Karoy Anderson, Joshawn Anglin, Casey Palmer. And the forwards, Bailey Ty Kadamatari, Shamar Nicholson, Roman Burrell, Demarai Gray, Kaheem Dixon, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, and Seymour Reid. For questions from members of the media, please use the microphone in front of you to pose your question to Coach McLaren. So please stand up and use the microphone directly in front of me to pose your question to Coach McLaren. Thank you.
Good morning, Coach. Gregory Bryce from the Jamaica Gleaner. Coach, last window, 2 wins, a great start, but you were missing a lot of the more marquee players due to injuries. Now, with several of them coming back in, how more confident or more improved the squad is for these 2 games now, especially against Curacao away?
Yes, we did. We had quite a few missing. They've come back. We hope with their experience, their knowledge, and the way that they've been playing, performing, they're great additions. Unfortunately, for the first game, we do lose Isaac Hayden and Casey Palmer through suspension, through booking. So they will be a big miss for us. But they'll be available for the second game, so we fly them out a little later. But yeah, I'm not saying the squad is stronger this time. It's just different. And what we want is the same level of performance, the same level of intensity in training, preparation, focus, and same performance of spirit, fight, and good football in the game against Curacao. That's what we're looking for from the group.
And a follow-up question regarding that. The next game against Curacao, they're expected to be our biggest test in this group now for the automatic qualifying spot. How important is it that you can able to bring these players in after being missing from injuries to get that right performance, to get all 3 points and continue this good start for Jamaica?
Momentum is key, so it's important that we carry that forward. We hope there's not too much disruptions with the new players coming in, but there shouldn't be, because they've been regulars all the way through for the past year since I've taken over. And Curacao is a difficult game, but Bermuda is no easy game either to get by, and obviously we have Trinidad away from home as well. So they're very difficult games. As I said last time, I was impressed with Trinidad, the way they've progressed and come forward. Difficult opponents at home, so they'll be looking for revenge. And obviously the 2 games against Curacao, whatever happens, I think, it goes to the 3rd camp and the last 2 games. And I just hope that by the end of this camp, we're in a good position to battle for the top spot.
A final question, Coach. Before the qualifiers had begun, the JFF had put out a list of a watch list of players, including likes of Rico Henry, of course, long-term target Mason Greenwood. With this window and the November window left, what are the chances of we seeing those persons playing for Jamaica before the qualifiers end?
I can't answer that question. As I said, the last time
Hold on.
they weren't involved, and
the qualifiers had begun. The JFF had put out a final question, Coach. Before the qualifiers had begun, the JFF had put out a list of a watch list of players, including likes of Rico Henry, of course, long-term target Mason Greenwood. With this window and the November window left, what are the chances of we seeing those persons playing for Jamaica before the qualifiers end?
I can't answer that question. As I said, the last time they weren't involved, and this time also. So we focus on the players who are here, and believe you me, all the players on the list, and I think we put about 50 players on that list. We're following every 50 player very, very closely. So we've got 2 camps to go. Hopefully we have a clean bill of health come Monday for this one, and then November will be different again.
Thank you, Bryce. David?
All right, hold on. So I actually like how he framed that last question, because instead of directly asking about a certain player, he found a way to ask it where we got a lot of information in one answer and question. So kudos to, I think that guy was from the Gleaner for that last question, especially because of the way he framed it. Didn't sensationalize it by picking out the player everybody wants to hear about, right? What he did was find a way to ask the question in a way where we got information about multiple players at once. So kudos to you for how you asked the question. And I actually respect the coach answer. Him say, I can't answer that. I can't tell you when these players specifically would be able to represent us, because obviously the way you asked it as well allowed him to answer it that way, because some of the situations of some of the players probably aren't all the same. But when you ask it that blanket way, he has to answer it that blanket way. So look, maybe somebody else asked something more pointed to some of these players, but yeah, it was a good attempt, I'll say. But McLaren, has been around, so I don't think he got tricked into answering it in a way where it may have been more sensational. But look, I see a lot of people talking about the turf. He even mentioned the turf as well, but he did say that it will roll through. So let's just have a brief intermission on the press conference, only because I want to educate you guys right now, because I hear this going around a lot as far as what kind of pitch it is and all this stuff. So let me show you guys exactly what kind of pitch it is. So when you hear people talking about it and they're telling you what it is, you can say, no, Jason Gooner did show me this. So this is exactly what's on the field in Curacao. It's the first ever FIFA certified Greenfields Pure PT installed at Curaçao's National Stadium, right? So it says Greenfields is proud to announce a milestone achievement in sports infrastructure: the installation of the first ever FIFA certified Greenfields Pure PT at the Hergilio Hato Stadium in Curacao. This new pitch sets a new benchmark for quality, performance, and sustainability. The new pitch represents a significant advancement for football development in Curacao. The FIFA certification ensures that players will benefit from an innovative playing surface that closely mimics high-quality natural grass, offering excellent ball behavior, superior grip, stability, and control. So I just wanted you guys to know, it's not like the long-time turf where you don't know about. That's actually, like Tycoon said, in Nicaragua. Like, trust me, it's not as bad on the knees and, as what you traditionally would think of when you hear the word turf. So I just wanted people to know, like, it's not what you think it is, right? So yeah, it's not that bad. It's some new technology thing, state of the art business. So yeah, it's not gonna be as bad as people might think. It's gonna be different, but not bad. So yeah, that was just a little learning segment. Went around to the library, get some information. Let's forward back to class now. All right. Yeah. So everybody, when people are telling about this turf thing and we man can't play upon it because them have injury, and just calm them down and tell them, say, yo, Jason Gooner, they make no sense. It's some state of the art turf. It functions like natural grass. Don't have the freak MCL, ACLs like you used to get on turf, because it's not really what we would consider turf from back in the day. All right, so boom, that is it. Moving on.
Morning, Coach. Morning, Simon.
Morning.
Coach, you have won the league in Netherlands, and we know that the Curacao team comprises of players mainly from Netherlands. Coach, what can you say, taken from your experience over there, can you tell us about the Curacao team, or prepared your experience will assist us with the Curacao team?
I think it's the amount of analysis and the amount of times that we can watch opponents. It doesn't matter where they're from. We know a lot about them. They know a lot about us. Yes, it could be an advantage because, yeah, I managed in Holland and know the style of play and followed Dick Advocaat for many years. And they play good football. They want to play football. They want to build from the back. They want to dominate games. Want to be creative up front. And you see from the recruitment that they've made over the last few months, you saw the performances in the Gold Cup, narrowly beat by Canada. Honduras, they look very good against them. And so we know what to expect. Will be very, very difficult. We need to defend very well, but also
Now listen, people, go and listen, like up the show,
and try to use our speed as much as possible against them.
Coach, on the squad now, the last time around, in the last round of games, we saw where you made 2 changes. We saw where you made a change at halftime where you brought on Kara Anderson in the second half, 15 minutes.
Hold on, people, a ball pre that? Let me know if a ball pre that I ask questions, people, because it sound like him.
In the second half of both games, see now Isaac Hayden will be out. How important is the likes of Kara Anderson and even Ian Frey coming in this team to fill that void for the first game?
I mean, one of the key things that we do say to the squad at the beginning of every game is we call them starters and finishers. So they're not subs, they're finishers. So we hope to be in a position of control, and people need to be ready to come on and impact. So, the key thing is having trust in these players that they can come on and do the job. Kiroy has done that a couple of times now. Anglin came in very, very well. Kahim and Shamar really impressed us when they came on against Trinidad. Mason Holgate, disappointing not to be starting, came on 20 minutes in each of the games and made sure that we kept the lead that we had. So for me, yeah, the 11 who start, obviously important, but for me, the most important people are the people on the bench, because the game's over 95 minutes. And what we have learned in the Caribbean is because of travel, because of the heat, because of the intensity of the games, that from one game to the next, we do need to look at that and maybe change a few players, which we did last time, and make sure that we've got an energy and attitude for both the games.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, David.
What you say? All right. So after me hear him talk some more, I don't think it was him, but you can't tell me that don't sound a little bit like him a while ago. Because even Hummingbird said that was king. And yes, see, that's not ball pre, surely not LOL 220. See, some farmer said don't sound like ball pre. I don't know anything about angling ability to travel. From a listen to coach, you can tell he's going to play more counter-attacking football with Cephas and maybe Burrell speed. All right, truth. Really, I break down it. I like that truth. I like that. Martin Baker said that's code language. You can look for enough long ball. Just hope them find the forward. Where said Travis? Don't speculate. Go do the research, eh? But I mean, I touch them part there, brother. I mean, analyze the football, the formation, but I don't want to talk about none of them things there. I don't want to talk about none of them things there, brother. I don't know it. Man, the man legal counsel, legal team, I don't know nothing about them things there.
Morning, Coach. MJ
Morning.
Sports here. Update on the Macy Green situation.
No update, same as it was the last time. He's not committed to us as yet.
Yes. Okay. We're at the forward line is
As yet.
Hold on.
No update.
on the Macy Green. Morning, Coach.
Oh, okay. So MG want to ask about MG. All right.
Morning, Coach. MJ
Morning.
Sports here. Update
Blessings,
on
Duke.
the Macy
What?
Green situation.
No update, same as it was the last time. He's not committed to us as yet.
Not committed to us
Yes.
yet.
Okay. We're as the forward line is concerned. Still, the players who are having the forward line lacking in goals, and we have Trevante Soa right now, last 5 games, 3 goals in really good goal scoring form. Is he in any content idea of being seen or being called up at any time soon?
Sorry, who was that?
Trevante Stewart.
Yes, player we've followed from his time in Serbia last.
Yo, somebody tell MG that man for slow down. Cause the man, anytime the man struggle for here, you see how the man face look right now. I see him, so the man look, listen when MG attack. Oh, the man, bro, furrow. The man I try him hardest to understand what the man I saying. But MG talk fast, bro. Try this what, brother. Just slow down a little bit, man.
Yes. Okay. We're as the forward line is concerned. Still, the players who are having the forward line lacking in goals, and we have Trevante Soa right now, last 5 games, 3 goals in really good goal scoring form. Is he in any content idea of being seen or being called up at any time soon?
Sorry, who was that?
Trevante Stewart.
Yes, player we've followed from his time in Serbia last year. Got a good move to Maccabi Haifa, and we certainly have watched him a lot. And I got to say, Shamar has such a good record in Caribbean.
Hold on. I was talking a little bit. I want to hear this answer properly.
Serbia last. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, player we've followed from his time in Serbia last year. Got a good move to Maccabi Haifa, and we certainly have watched him a lot. And I got to say, Shamar has such a good record in Caribbean football, playing for Jamaica. That when we looked at the squad last time, Trevante was very close with Shamar, and Shamar got the nod for coming in. But Trevante is definitely one player that we are following very, very closely and in contact with, and making sure that we still follow him. These players have to follow the form and play well for their clubs, obviously, but be fit. Some players we trust already and have got kind of money in the bank, shall we say. And new players coming in have to earn that trust when they come in. So, yeah, Trevante is somebody that we are following very closely.
Hold on. The man asking about Trevante. So, did I miss something? Did MG ask about Shamar as well? Or somehow those two players are linked? So he's basically telling us that Shamar is blocking Travante being in the team right now. So I guess he sees them as one or the other selections, right? And this actually, if that's how he sees it, I actually respect it. You know why? I've never been a fan of filling the team, especially on your striking pool, of the same person. So if you want, he sees their skill sets as very similar, and he thinks they play similar. Now, me personally, right? I think that would have been true 2 years ago. But I'm going to be honest with you. Travante Stewart has unpeeled some more layers of his game that makes me believe he's not as one-dimensional as a striker anymore. As a matter of fact, a lot of the games he's played recently are actually in positions off the striker, which if you had told me that 2 years ago, that Travante Stewart would be playing off a striker, I'll never forget. One of the few times Travante Stewart got to play when he was in Serie A, the coach put him on the left-hand side in a front three, and it was a nightmare. When I'm telling you, it was a nightmare. Nightmare. Yeah, bro. The very last game when they played Javan East, he was playing striker. But you see the games before that, like some of those conference league games they had, the qualifiers when they're trying to get into the conference league, and then also some of the other league games he had played, he was actually playing off the striker to start the game, and then they would sub off the striker, and he would move into the striker role, but he would play like the first, 45, 50, 60 minutes in like a supporting striker role. Kind of like something similar to what you see Mbuma playing and the United supporting striker, like dual tens type of thing. That's how the man was playing, bro. I'm like, what? You don't want to see the man that drop from a collect ball from defender, turn, play diagonal. And I say, yo, who is this player? Who is this player? So yeah, I'm telling you, I just feel like it's sad, but it's the truth. Some of our fans, if a player gets branded a certain way, it's very, very hard to tell a fan that the player is not that. And I think that Canada cameo, when he had to come on for Antonio and then was subbed off in the second half, he was so poor. And I think people have that etched in their brain. And you can't tell them that the man improved. Them no business. No, sir. Travante Stewart, no, sir. No matter what you try to tell them. But it's all right. He will get another chance. And people will see that he's different now. But if you can, people, he's in the Israeli Pro League. It's a league that's not hard to find on the net and everything. Just, I'm begging you, just go and watch the man play. Go and watch the man play. You think Travante work suffer in Jamaica team? What do you mean by that? Court circumvent the question with flair. Yep, one or the other. Shamar is Nestle and Travante is Betty. Yo. Travante score from wingers going to the line and crossing the ball. Jamaica don't really play so. Okay, so truth or truth. So how is Shamar scoring goals? Last goal he scored was from a corner, set play. Interesting. Yeah, it was interesting to me too. Even I'm gonna try to find Dima. There was a season highlight of last season. Like all kind of clips, breakdown, like the goals he scored, the assists he had, dribbles, through passes, key passes, crosses, like everything, a whole season compilation. And some of the things the man had done, I said, bro, this is not the same player. Like I wouldn't think he would have this many things in his toolbox. Travante can go and play for now. Plus, I think Shamar Hulla plays better and is more likely to score from other areas. You see that all right. So I argue that Travante Stewart currently today his hold-up play is actually better than Shamar Nicholson. And I will say that with no apology. Yep. Him the rate Travante because for the life of me, how Seymour Reid get called over him. Yeah, that's clearly one that they were just looking at the future. I've heard some rumblings as to why. I don't really agree. I don't really think that's really why. I just think he's taking a chance on a young kid with talent. We saw that the last window there were 4 strikers selected as well, and only two of them actually played. I think Shamar and Kadamateri, or Kadamartri, as I think Simon said it should be pronounced. So I'm gonna try to pronounce it that way because apparently that is the way, and it's his name, so he would know, right? How come nobody asked about Antonio this time? I thought he was there as a guide. Respect Eras for the likes check. 80 likes on the video. Come on, guys, do better. We're almost at 100 of you in the building right now. You guys can definitely get us to the 100 likes, you know? Why man I compare man to milk? Well, I have a big time pass for that because I had one is actually a female. So if a female is comparing a man to milk, is that okay, Mr. Y Police? Is that okay? The youngster needs to get cap tied. Sir, I have been told by the biggest recruiter in the whole thing that this term is off limits. So please, Duckland, the wordsmith that you are, come up with a different term than what you used here. Please and thank you. Any other country, any other team. Trevante Stewart makes a team and players like Cephas and Dixon don't. Facts. And Mr. and Pastor, you know that Cephas and Dixon is like trigger words to some fans. So instead of being so inciting, let's just go with the one that makes the most sense, which is Seymour Reid. You know, all the other players are playing more regularly at the first class level. Seymour is the one that isn't. Now, to be fair to Seymour, he's 17, right? There's a reason why he's not playing as much first team minutes. But at the same time, I don't know if the forward area is somewhere that we need to be making sure that we're bedding in for the future. Like we have experienced ones, we have younger ones already. I mean, Bailey Cadamarteri is not 37. This guy is 20. You know what I'm saying? Romain Burrell is not 30. He's like 24 or 23, whatever he is. So it's not like we have this aging forward line. So that's the only thing. You know, Trevante Stewart is not old either. I think he's 24 now, 25 at the most. So yeah. I don't know why Lambert is not liked by fan base or coaches for that matter, because a lot of them don't play him. Like Junior Fleming, Steve Stewart got better in Europe even though they didn't get a lot of minutes. Yeah, Flemings did get better. That is true. Seymour is in the program already and he's a born yard man. Yeah, I don't think, even if the US youth teams were after him right now, I just feel like this youth here, a Jamaica I'm out there, you know, honestly. But I mean, I could be wrong. You know, you can always be swayed. Tyrese Hall should have been the younger player to come in. We don't have a midfield. Demar, I am with you on that one. If I was going to take a chance on the future being now, it would be in my midfield because that's where we're always looking for an answer, you know? That's my thing. I don't think the forward line or the winger area is where we need to, you know, let's make sure we're giving the future a chance. No, I don't think it's that important there because we have players at multiple ages in those positions that we export that player a lot. You know, we have those players around at various levels. England cannot make any other team in the world over K. Lambert. Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. I don't know why people don't like Lambert. MG a cut after any question.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Simon.
Morning.
Coach, Tyrese Hall, he's on loan at Notts County from Tottenham, and he's been in fine form this season. 4 goals in 7. He actually played a part in all 3 of the goals today. How closely are you looking at him? And is there any hesitation at this point in bringing in new players at this juncture in order to build that chemistry with the core, given that there are only 4 games left?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the case of Seymour Reid, who, we're trusting. We're not going to bring 3 or 4 of these talented youngsters in at once. The most important thing is qualification for the World Cup and winning these games. Tyrese Hall is somebody we followed for a long time. Great that he got a move to Notts County. Started on the bench, few minutes. Now he's starting. Now he's producing. He was so close to being in this squad. But obviously we can't pick everyone starting. Now he's producing.
Oh, Tyrese.
He was so close to being in this squad.
So close.
But obviously we can't pick everybody. And at this present moment, we've looked for experience, people who know the region, the travel, the area. But Tyrese is definitely someone for the future, and very close to a call up.
Yeah, and just quickly, is there any hesitation from your point in terms of bringing in new players at this juncture, given we only have 4 games left?
Absolutely not. If they're good enough, they'll be in the squad. And players have come to the fore, like Seymour, like Tyrese Hall, that we've been looking at, like Tyrese Campbell, and Roman Burrell in the Unity Cup. No hesitation in bringing in younger players. If they can do the job, give us the energy and the attitude, they'll be in the squad.
All right, thank you.
Jean-Pierre.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, with the return of Bobby Reid and Demarai Gray, can you outline the exact roles you see for them in this upcoming window?
No.
Any secrets, eh? All right, Coach.
Oh.
Yo, Jean-Pierre, you have to be a little more quiet than that, my guy.
Morning.
I just
Coach,
come
with
up
the return
early.
of Bobby Reid and Demarai Gray, can you outline the exact roles you see for them in this upcoming window?
No.
To give away any secrets, eh? All right, Coach. And then follow up as well. You mentioned last window we had some last minute injuries, and because of that, we had to call up some local players to help out the squad. Can you outline any of those players you might have on a short list in case of an emergency? We have to call up some of them.
Yeah, all the players who came to the last squad, I've contacted and are on standby. The local players like Topi coming in, it was great to see him. He's a talent, and we'll be watching him closely again. So we have an opportunity tomorrow to go watch a few games. I think the message is that the squad we pick is not necessarily the one that will take us all the way to World Cup qualifications, and there's no room or no space or no opportunities for other players or younger players to break into the squad. There is opportunity. We are watching all the time. And what we want is competition for places and no complacency for people who have maybe been in the squad and been in a team and been automatic choice for let's say 1, 2, 3 years. I don't want that to be the case. We want energy and attitude, and the players who produce that will be in the squad.
Coach, you mentioned Curacao. Can you outline this host of the specific opponents factor in its selection of the team compared to the selecting the best players available?
Could you clarify that?
Meaning, do you look at who exactly we are playing in this window to decide who exactly is coming into the squad for this specific window, or you just look at the best possible players available in your eyes?
I think it's 2 of them things.
Yeah, it would have to be.
I think we look at the opponent and how best to negate their strengths and take advantage of their weakness. So that might be in terms of changing system, changing tactics, changing outlook. Do we press? Do we drop? Do we build up? Do we keep possession? how often can we transition? What do we need to do to win? And as I said to you before, it's we start with 11, but the most important people in a football match are becoming the finishers, the people on the bench. And so that balance we need to get, because we've not just got this game, but to think about Bermuda as well, and come out with the points that we need to make sure we're in control of the group for the November camp.
Thank you, Coach.
Wow. So yeah, Seymour Reed chosen, Tyrese Hall not chosen. I think Goontown had a poignant point here. Poignant point. Can you say that? Anyway, I thought this was well put. Now, to me, that is criminal to pick Seymour over Tyrese if they actually had the choice. We almost exclusively produce forwards and wing attackers. Why not bring in a dynamic midfielder? I couldn't have said it any better, Goontown. Honestly, I have always said that I, across the board, would like to see heavy scrutiny for the players selected. And the criteria needs to be obviously club form and club level, right? Obviously, do you have any international experience already? What is your form when you play for Jamaica typically, right? That's some more criteria for you. And then also, I think those criteria need to be relaxed based on the situation. So, in other words, if I am scouting for a winger right now in Jamaica's team, I see the pool of wingers and I'm saying to myself, they have to be better than these players. So clearly we're going to have to get some really high level players. Now, no disrespect to the midfield pool, but I feel like it's always a search to get more quality in that midfield area more than any other area. You know, we seem to be able to produce decent enough defenders, fullbacks, goalkeepers, kinda, and forwards. We develop quite a few, and we are able to secure the services of even those not developed here easier because there's more to choose from. For whatever reason, Jamaican heritage players, they don't get put in certain positions on the pitch. They just don't, or they don't play there regularly enough. So when you find a player that is known as a maestro in the midfield, or a tempo setter in the midfield, or anything to do with the midfield, we need to be all over that, because we are lacking in those areas. I mean, there are still members of our fan base that would pick a player that is clearly at a stage in his career where it's, you know, he's past his best, you know, he's past his peak. But people think that him, at no matter what level he's at, his ability is better than everything that we have in this midfield list. And of course, I'm talking about Ravel Morrison, but that just goes to show you, in that midfield area particularly, people are prone to having some out of the box thinking, because it requires major surgery in that midfield. I don't think we have ever gotten the balance completely right there. So if somebody is calling for players that maybe don't suit the criteria of all the forwards or all the defenders, I could understand somebody being kind of like, yo, so what about this player playing here, but you want this man who's playing where he's playing to be in the team? Well, I would just respond that the midfield has different criteria for it. Because it ain't, you know, these pools of positions are not equal in the Jamaica setup. And anybody saying that that's not true is lying to themselves. I don't think Tyrese Hall could play over any of the midfielders we brought. Okay, so Isaac Hayden, Ian Frey, Bobby Reed, John Russell, Karai Anderson, Joshan Anglin, and Casey Palmer. So you don't think that Tyrese Hall could play over any of those players? All right. I would argue that two of them, I would probably play him over. Because I think Tyrese Hall, at this stage of his career, you know, not fully physically filled out and everything, can still look kind of young as a in his, you know, size. I would say I would play him more attacking. I would play him where Notts County is playing him, as a number 10. And for me, he's a better number 10 than Kerry Anderson, and he's a better number 10 than Joshawn Anglin. So I would take them off the squad for him. Either one of them. I mean, I would take Anglin off before him, for sure, because I think Kerry Anderson is better in the number 8 position than Anglin. And I think even if you wanted somebody to partner Ian Frey as a double pivot, as a 6, I think Anderson would do that role better than Anglin would as well. You know, so for me, it would be Anglin. And of course, Travis is here, so I'm going to say I hate local ballers, but it doesn't really matter where they... I've always said this, you can believe it or not. I just analyze how I see the player then play. Those people aren't 10. The balance was right with Lambert, DJ, and Russell Hayden. Bro, I'm telling you, Lambert should be there. That's my guy. Lambert always does well, and people just don't like the man. I just hope Splat can just stay healthy, bro. Well, me personally, I think him best position currently is 10 right now today, but I think he's going to develop into a beast of an 8 in his career. But I think right now I would put him at 10 because I think the physicality, the tackling, CONCACAF region especially, I don't want to put that pressure on him. Not that he won't do that work, you know, because he have instincts to do that work. But I don't think he have the physicality to do the work yet. So I would rather give him the 10 position and tell him, listen, you're my most attacking midfielder of my 3, but I do need you to put in the work, which he can do. But I don't want to like, you know, make him, I don't want to give him that role as his main function right now. I think he can develop into that later in his career. But I think 10 right now is in best place. For based off what I have seen, his clippings I've seen at Notts County, I was able to watch a replay game as well from Notts County, where he was playing behind the striker in a 2-10 type of system. Obviously, he was dropping deeper to build play as well, so you can see he has characteristics of an 8. That's why I keep saying 8-10, because to me, I know he's listed on Transfer Market and SofaScore as a DM, CM, and Cam, but I don't see him developing into a true DM. I just don't see it. But I could be wrong. I'm not always right on these things, but my analysis of the player, I like him at 10 right now, and he could develop into a deeper line playmaker later in his career, I think. Always local boy. Yeah, man, I know, man. I just don't. I think out of all those midfielders, he's the worst one. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to lie. I can't lie, Travis. I can't lie. I just wish you could believe me when I tell you that I'm basing it off of what I deem their ability to be, from how I see them play and everything. You know, but you just think I'm just picking him because he's the one guy that played JPL. But no, I think out of all of those players, he is the weakest player out of all of them. I've watched all of them play. I'm sorry. All right. So the first reason, I think that I don't think Bobby's gonna play 10 in this team. I think we'll more see Damari Gray and John Russell playing 10 in this team, and Casey Palmer in the second game. I don't think Bobby Reid is gonna play so much 10. I think Bobby Reid is gonna be an 8 in this team. And depending on how they set up in Curacao, it could be like I could see him even playing Bobby Reid as a 6, as a double pivot with like a Ian Frey. And obviously he would give Bobby a little more freedom than Ian if he played a system like that. But I honestly believe that for that first game especially, Bobby Reid is gonna be the fill-in for Chevy. Hey, D-boy, you love trolling like that. We do it though. Don't put up battery. Yeah, exactly. And Travis, that's why you and I can say whatever we want to say, you know, and we're the damn coach, you know. Somebody asks me a question and my answer, boss. But yo, if you think my opinion wrong, all right, it's okay. It's a part of life. Agree with Bobby Reid, Frey and Bobby with Gray in the camp, Cephas on the wing. Yeah, I could see that. Like I said, I think I think the coach, based on what I see with Frey, Bobby, Anderson, and even Anglin to a lesser extent, I feel like that first game, he's gonna try to not put Russell in that deeper role again. At least I wouldn't. It was so obvious in that second part of the Trinidad game. Once Russell didn't have that, for him, burden of tracking back and helping out, and he freed up his game. He got way more involved in the play. His touches were cleaner. He was connecting passes, got into the box, scored a goal. You know, it was night and day. So don't, if you know it don't work, don't do it no more. Please. Don't put him.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Coach Simon. Shavan from MG Sports as well. Coach, with a small possibility of us
MG get
qualifying for the
extra
World Cup
question.
on October 14, is there anything that you'd like to say to the fans here in Jamaica in regards to that particular game to fill out the stadium?
Our fans are the most important, I think. What I have also liked in the few last game was in Bermuda. We had quite a crowd of Jamaicans, and they're great support. They really come and support the team. Really, then to enjoy the game, to enjoy seeing people that they normally only see on TV and not come close to. So to give them fans that experience is great, and I'm not too sure whether there'll be many Jamaicans in Curacao. A few, but support home or away.
Some people
is
are
the most
there,
important thing for us. I thought the support against Trinidad was excellent. I thought all the way through. They don't realise, and I think it's so important that, you know, once the Jamaican public they get behind the team, they accept what the squad is, they accept that, okay, some players that they want to be in and not in, doesn't really matter. What we're cheering for and what we want is for Jamaica to succeed. So once the squad is named or the team is named, everybody, like they did against Trinidad, get behind the team, make it difficult also for opponents, because I guarantee you we will have that intensity of spectators against Curacao. We expect a full house, and everybody wants to beat us. So we have to deal with that. We want that kind of atmosphere at home, where it intimidates the opponent when they come out. So the 12th man. And we're trying to make this national stadium the office, and we need to carry on that momentum when Bermuda come. But first off, we have to make sure that we get some points against Curacao.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siobhan. Is there any other questions? If not, we appreciate your presence this morning. It's greatly appreciated. Just a gentle reminder, again, the matches in this window, October 10 and 14. October 10, 6 p.m. Jamaica time against...
So that's it in full, people. The press conference from the other night. I'm just going to leave up this still shot on screen because basically it have everything that I want to talk about on it. So this is none other than, all right, so here's the squad right here. Goalkeepers again, Andre Blake, Jamali Wade, Tafari Chambers. Look, I have no issues with the goalkeeping pool. You know, I heard Stockport County's manager speaking about Corey Adai, said that it's a dream of Corey to get into the World Cup team for Jamaica. So that was the first time I'd ever heard, you know, anything ever since about Corey Adai's interest, whatever the case is. Obviously, he had represented us in a non-official match before. So we know that obviously there is some concrete interest there, but everything had gone quiet. So good to hear someone speak about him. You know, we'll definitely have done some searches and checks, and apparently whatever needed to be done or wherever we were in the process, it is now back up and running. So, you know, hopefully sometime in the future, maybe we can add to our goalkeeping pool, another person that can try to challenge to just make the pool better, make raise the standard. That's that should be the goal. If we're gonna recruit players, there's no point recruiting a player that ain't gonna raise the standard, right? So I think Korea Dai does that. When you look at our goalkeeping pool, he's somebody that could potentially, if he continues to progress in his career, challenge that #1 spot. And that's what we want. We want goalkeepers that we think on any given day could get in that goal, and we know that we are, for lack of a better term, in safe hands, right? But yeah, let me take a look at something here. All right, so let's move into the defenders now. And of course, some of these players are a little more versatile than others. So Joel Latibodere, we know, can play midfield as well. Some Jamaica fans do not want that to happen. Yeah, Korea Dai played in it was either the Catalonia or the one in Africa. I can't remember exactly which one, but I want to say it was the Catalonia game he came on in, because it was I think Dylan Barnes kept, I think, and then he came in, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong on the starter. Dylan Barnes, I know, was in the Japan one, and then he came off. No, it was the Catalonia game. Yeah, and Dylan Barnes did start. Damn, good memory. And Korea Dai came in. All right, so yeah, I had it right. And it was that Catalonia game, and that was, I think, the only appearance. Pretty sure that was the only appearance back in, that would have been what, 2022? No, 2023 maybe. Wow, 2022 May. Then he made the move to Crawley. Yeah, that was it. That was it. That one time. All right. So the goalkeepers, like I said, Korea Dai, Jaden Hibbert, another one that nobody really asked about him this time. Last go around during the last window, we know that he decided to go and take up a call up from Canada. Obviously wasn't named on the squad itself, but I think he was on that watch list, if I'm not mistaken. So look, really, he didn't come up again, so I don't know what the situation is there. Me personally, I would say at this point, why give up? Jaden Hibbert looks like he's going to be a very good talent. Based on the limited chances he's got at Atlanta United, looks very, very solid, and looks like any day now he's going to bust through and become a starter in that league. So yeah, it would be good to get him in our camp permanently. No, I think when you look at the goalkeeping pool, Andre Blake obviously has done his time, done his service, still doing it at a very high level. But we need to start to look seriously at a succession plan. Jamali Waite, is he the one to really give the keys to this Reggae Boys national team as the goalkeeper? I think the jury is still out. He's not physically imposing. I think that's one of the main things that go against him. He just doesn't have that stature that typically you'd want a goalkeeper to have. Tafari Chambers definitely has more where that is concerned, but his international experience is limited. I do think, though, that of all the JPL crapper goalkeepers I've seen in that third spot, he looks to me like the one with the highest ceiling, the most upside, So I know that is kind of a philosophy where that third keeper is going to be someone that is developing in the JPL. And I have no issues with that. I like the fact that this one has a good age on his side, and really and truly looks like he could make the step outside of Jamaica, getting overseas with a contract. I honestly feel like he has that type of talent. Clean sheets throughout the Caribbean Cup so far, and I think interesting to see him in the semi and the final of this competition, hopefully for Mount Pleasant, and then seeing him play in the Champions Cup would be really nice too. And like I said, if he can do all those things and be the starter at Mount Pleasant through all of that, I think he should be getting some opportunities elsewhere, honestly. So yeah, Jamali Waite, you had a window last week where it was yours to seal it down. Stats wise, when you look at the results, I mean, can't really complain. Jamali Waite kept 2 clean sheets, but That's why I need to watch the football games, because no one can tell me that they feel completely secure with Jamali Wait at all times, you know. No, he's not capped by. He didn't even play. Big up Dre, what go on? Wait another answer. Yeah, I don't think so either. Like a physical can be overlooked if the player is damn good. True. But sometimes the physicality thing for a keeper hard to overlook though. Short answer and wait, no. Yeah. I tried to give some context. So my answer wasn't so short, but yeah, I would say I wouldn't be giving him the keys either. Need a better keeper to replace Blake when he retire. Yeah, man, that's the search. The search is on. The search is on. All right, defenders. As I said, Latibodir, multi-purpose, can do a lot of things, but he's listed as a defender here. I would love to see him play defense, people. I think we've brought in enough reinforcement in the midfield, even with Hayden and Palmer out, where I don't think Latibodir in midfield needs to happen. Okay. I did say if we couldn't get the proper reinforcements, I would put Latibodir back in midfield. I dodge the stone them are playing. Me know, people, me know. But I had an argument with someone the other day and I said this. Jamaica is not no super ball progression team through midfield. So the fact that Latibodir can't progress the ball forward as well as we would like from our central midfielder is not the end of the world for Jamaica and who they play. That's why Latibodir has played there for a long time under the previous manager, not as much under this one, and it has been okay because we don't necessarily play through that player to get the ball up the pitch. I know that's where a lot of people want to go with the national team, but that's not what we do. We're not there right now. So either way, I don't think we'll have to argue because I do think Latibodir, when he plays this window, will play around the back. I just have this feeling that that's actually where he's going to play this time. Ethan Pinnock, look, I would be lying if I told you that his form isn't a worry for me personally. Obviously, everybody knows Ethan Pinnock, I'm a baller. Steady Eddie around there, calming influence around there. I think right now, though, he's a little bit out of confidence, if I'm being honest. He's not as forceful, he's not as aggressive. You know, he's not really an overly aggressive player, but he's very decisive when he decides to go in a challenge. That decisiveness is not there right now. Maybe it's a lack of game time. Timing is a bit off. You know, you could see on that own goal he scored, I think that just came down to like just not being in enough games, playing that minutes over and over and over. And he's a player that since Brentford has been, you know, coming through the ranks and getting through the leagues, he's been a permanent nailed-down starter. So this past 6 months, I'm sure have been tough for him. You know, football, having to, you know, see every day, every, you know, night before the game or whenever they find out a couple hours before the game, he's looking at the list wondering, you know, that peace of mind knowing I'm probably going to start every week is a different feeling. And for someone like Pinnock, who probably got used to that, you never know what that does to your confidence, you know. So my hope is that Ethan is not having any issues mentally and that we can get the best version of him if he does get chances to play in this window, which I think he will. Richard King also there, recently got back into the starting lineup at St. Mirren, going to the back three system, and they've put him on the right-hand side, people. So his performances were a little bit better. He did give up a penalty in one of the games that I saw recently, but since then has been playing a bit more steady, acclimatizing a bit more. Still, I think just wants a beat too long on the ball, but that's getting a bit better because he's getting pressured like heck when he gets it in Scotland. But yeah, Richard King, you know, look, he's in the squad. To me, he doesn't make my ideal starting 11, but, you know, some would say they want the continuity. I would say I want the best available and the best on form. So I don't go to training, so I trust the coach to pick that correctly. But yeah, I do think that defense line, center backs especially, for me, it's going to be a training call, you know, and it's also going to be partnerships, which ones make the most sense for that B word again, balance, right? So Richard King, Dexter Lembikisa, Greg Lee, Damian Lowe, Amari Bell, Mason Holgate. So Liam Bell, obviously the left backs in there, Latibodir and Lembikisa, the right backs, center backs, Richard King, Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Mason Holgate. Now we know Amari Bell has been playing center back lately, so he could be a left center back candidate as well. If Pinnock is not up to speed or up to par, and you want to play a left footer there, he can play there. I also have always said Latibodir is as a center back is really good as well. Some people like to make up for the fact that he's a bit short for center back to play a back three when he's in the back line as a center back. I think he can function just fine in a back four, two center back system, even with that height, because intelligence can get it through. But look, I don't think Latibode will be looking for center backs because we do have four solid ones, four that I know the coach trusts as well. That's why they're in the team. And it's just going to be interesting. Which two out of that four would you pick, for that first game in Curacao? Let me know in the comment section which two out of the four CBs I just named. We're going to rule out Amari Bell, even though I might consider him at left center back. But out of Pinnock, King, Lowe, and Holgate, tell me your starting center back pairing, please. Yeah, man, I know it's going to be tough. That's why I'm asking, Rob. Let me know. Put on your coaching hats, people. I need an advisor. ASAP. I need the two starting center backs out of those four. Pinnock, King, Damian Lowe, Mason Holgate. Let me know. Just put the two names in the chat, people, and we'll go through them and we'll discuss. All right, so defenders for me. So I'm going to start with the pluses for the defense. For me, I think there's good balance. I've always said balance is a must. Please have two left-footed left backs. Please have two right-footed right backs. We got that checked off. Have four center backs with different attributes for some of them. So Pinnock and King, I think, are the more laid back, read the game, maybe not dive in as much. They kind of have similar attributes as defenders in terms of style, right? And then Damian Lowe, Holgate, much more front foot defenders, aggressive, want to intercept instead of jockey and kind of wait their time to make the challenge. So I like the balance between those things. Also, even at right back, Latibode is not really an attacking right back. Dexter is. I think Gregley and Amari Bell are a little bit more similar to each other in terms of I think Amari Bell can go forward. I think Gregley is looked at as the better defender. I don't even know if that's true, so to speak, but I think both of them are. That's probably one of the more similar areas right there, Gregley and Amari Bell. I think where the difference lies, Gregley is just a bit more physical than Amari Bell. Not that Amari Bell doesn't have physicality, but I think Gregley relies on that a lot more in his game. Amari Bell is a bit smoother, a bit more timing. Some people that like nicer, cleaner touches might prefer Bell to Lee. But Lee is just a hard worker, get the job done. Has a very cultured left foot on him. I think that's underrated as well because he can whip good crosses in. Sometimes I wish he would actually use that left foot more to shoot because it looks like he has some power in it. But yeah, let's see if we get any long range bombs if Lee play. But defenders, I'm okay with the defensive list, to be honest. I have no issues. Richard King, I get it. I get it because to be fair to him, I thought last window was one of the better versions of King I've seen in Jamaica's team for ever since, to be honest. So yeah, maybe him getting out of the country, just hearing a different set of direction, learning under someone new, that in itself can give you this new belief. I have a perfect example in my house right now. So Juliana, my daughter, she play obviously club for her team, our local team here, but she made the Georgia Olympic Development Program team. So she went to her first training last Friday, and I watched her play 2 games, Saturday and Sunday. And on Sunday after the game, I said, Julie, I'm going to be honest with you, it's the best game I ever saw you play. And I couldn't really put my finger on why, but it was just her command or confidence she was. She usually wants to hide her left foot. She's making left foot bouncing ball volley clearances. And I'm like, what is this? But it's just confidence. It's just hearing a different set of voices at this training and just reassuring, you have it. You can do these things, coaching out that bad habit of running away from the left foot. Use it, swing it. You have to use it. So I know that maybe that's all it took for King to just, flip some more light bulbs in that brain, in that footballing brain to say, oh, when this happens, I should do this. Okay, cool. So I saw an improvement from him, people. I don't know if you saw it, but I did. Lowe and Pinnock for the first game. King and Lowe says, I had one, don't want to change it. Truth or truth said Pinnock and Lowe. Martin said Pinnock and Lowe. Demo said Pinnock and Lowe. Holgate and Lowe. So that's the first Holgate and Lowe I've seen. Pinnock can lead the team prior. King need to learn how to tackle. King bench Logan. We asked our CB to cover a lot more space than under Grimmy, and I think Pinnock will struggle again. Yeah, we play a lot more expansive under this coach. So me not trust Pinnock right now. She's growing in confidence and discovering. Yeah, yo, Hummingbird. Trust me, man. My eye open up this weekend, brother. Man, I say, yo, she really improving, like right in front of me. It's crazy. And I knew going to this ODP thing would be good for her because sometimes I feel like, with us not being in Atlanta at the bigger clubs, she kind of missing out on some things, especially being challenged day to day. So I love the fact that she could go play with all the girls on the team them where we play against best players, and she get picked for playing at the team there, as a girl from outside of the big city or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, man, I think sometimes, no matter how much your father tell you or your mother tell you or your grandfather or your cousin or your uncle, when you say a whole new set of coach, when you know you from Adam, I big you up and I tell it do something. King is actually the most match fit. Boy, that is a damn true statement, Rob Smith. And I wonder how many people that drop King, including myself, even factored that in. Because he is the most match fit, if we're being honest. Low no kick a ball in anger for Houston yet, unless in the command in this game with just play, which I don't think he did. Let me double check before I chat foolishness. No, he didn't. Matter of fact, he wasn't even on the bench. Yeah. So he wasn't on the bench for September 27th game or October 4th game. So, wow. So, man, not even have, he was on the bench 2 games and then wasn't on the bench for the other 2. So, I don't know. I don't know how I go on this. So, all right. So yeah, that's the defenders. And so, I mean, it's pretty mixed, to be honest. I'm seeing Pinnock low Pinnock, Bellan low. Okay, so Rob went with Bellan low. That's not. I mean, he's more match fit than King, at least Bell, and Low wasn't match fit last time. So who cares? So Dr. Hero go back 4. Low, Pinnock, Lembekisa, and Lee. All right. So 3 L's. I open to take one in the game too. Low and Pinnock say pristine. I think people isn't watching Pinnock at club. Pinnock could have stayed at Brentford for all I care. All right, Travis, we know. I know from time I say Pinnock no you worry about him or him because what say one window come, next window him not forward. I know Rob Smith used to say that. I'm not gonna say Travis used to say that. I know Rob Smith used to say that. Check how many back-to-back window Pinnock forward. He so always tell him to do that. Bell play the most minutes for all our defenders and you bench him. Yeah, me I play Bell a left back. I may have start Dexter on the right and tell him say, may I give you the freedom. I'm just tell Bell, listen, that Curacao game, yeah. But now I say we have to play for a draw in a big man, but me no want you run up. Turn where you there. Make Bailey drift out left, figure that side there. And plus, if you start Cephas over there on the left, just don't bother crowd it with nobody. Him not pass anyway. Just leave it for him. Make him do him thing over there. Not playing well with their club, so I pick low and Pinnock based on experience. Okay. That man, Bella play well, man. As a centre back. King and Holgate say Travis. Holgate no game, Pinnock no game, Low no game, only King playing. Travis I work off how him know about them, Low right centre back, left centre back, Pinnock. Alright. We have a lot of Pinnock haters. Yeah, people. This game is very critical. We need the best defender. Yeah, I think Markland people are working with the game, He's definitely played better in the last game. He needs to work on his tackle, Trinidad forward, put King on his ass. Luckily the player was offside, yeah. I don't worry about Low. Most players go on international break, Low go on club break. Low main club is Jamaica. But I mean, I tell you, man, hope feet. All right. So now moving into the midfield. So the midfielders named. We have Isaac Hayden, Casey Palmer named, but we know they're out for the Curacao game, but still named in the squad. So we'll be in and around it, right? Ian Frey, Bobby Reed, John Russell, Karai Anderson, Jashan, Anglin. So again, looking at the word balance, do you like the balance you see here? I think, you know, when you look at Anderson, Reed, and Russell, I think they are all players that can play attacking and also a little bit deeper in the midfield. I think of those three, I think two of them can play deep for real. So I think John Russell, for me, people, I know he has the size and the height. I don't want him playing 8 anymore. I don't like it. I think the 8 is required to do too much running. I think Russell needs to conserve. So if he's gonna be not running so much, stand in front of my back 4, but I know he doesn't have the discipline for that because he wants to go forward. So then you have to play almost like a supporting striker, honestly. And obviously, when we are out of position, please drop back and fill that channel so that the 6s can play freely through us, right? You just get on one of the 6s that them have, and we should be good to stop them moving out. So balance-wise, Ian Frey will play deeper in the midfield. We heard the coach mention 6/8. I think Bobby Reed nailed on to be an 8 in the first game. He's fit now. He's playing. We've seen in the past that Canada game, one of the reasons as well why we had that comeback, people always said Nana went to midfield. The midfield that was in there with him that day was Bobby Reed, and I don't even want to say the other name because he should be in the squad, Daniel Johnson, right? Man, just add Daniel Johnson to this, man, and it's like I'm good to go. Daniel Johnson, Tyrese Hall. I'm gonna go with one less striker. Yeah, that's what I would do, you know. But anyway, the midfield, again, because perennially it is this part of the team where I'm like, and that doesn't really change much. I do like the inclusion of Ian Frey. I love that Bobby Reed is back. I love that Karai Anderson is in the team again, because there was times when he was getting in the standby mix a lot. But I think that last window showed the coach something, and some fans as well. I think he endeared himself to some of the fans in the last window. Just the way he was coming on and trying to dictate the play. Jashan Anglin came on in the game in Kingston. I would expect him to do the same against Bermuda. I noticed that McLaren loves to give opportunities to those players in the national stadium. So Anglin, October 14th, be ready. You're forwarding off the bench if you don't start. Forwards, Bailey Cadamartri, Shamar Nicholson, Romain Burrell, and Seymour Reed. Those are the strikers selected, right? Of course, we know that Romain Burrell for club has been playing off the left at times as well. So I don't know if the coach sees him as an option out there as well. Damari Gray, Kaim Dixon, Ronaldo Cephas, and Tyrese Campbell, you know, listed as forwards, probably more wingers, wing forward type players. We know Damari Gray might pull rank in midfield as well. Maybe he can slot in where Casey Palmer would have played in the 10 position if he started. That could be an option. We saw in the past where Cephas and Gray, he wants to have them on the pitch at the same time. So he played Gray in the camp, played Cephas wide. Don't think that really worked out that well, to be honest. I think Gray should just play either flank, whether it's left or right. That's where you're going to get the best out of him. That's where he's most comfortable. So that's where I would be looking to put him. Especially now that we have the likes of Bobby Reed in the squad. Swiss Army Knife can play 10, can play 8, can play 6. You know, we have people that can fill in for Casey in the first game at least. So yeah, midfield, it's all right. You know, we need to broaden the player pool, I think. So Demadre in midfield, same would go with Russell Karai and Bobby Reed. I don't hate it. Only thing I don't love about that one, I just said me personally, I don't want Russell to have defensive responsibility. I think you look at him, his stature, his height, and you're like, he has to be a 6. He has to play somewhere close to defense. But he doesn't have instincts for that, man. His instinct is to spin a man and play a through pass, or, you know, take a shot or run into the box and get on the end or something. So let's let him do what it seems like his brain wants him to do most times, you know. McLaren will play senior players. Okay, I don't want to see Gray in the 10. Yeah, me either. I want him out wide as well. He tended to drift due to the flank with Sifa. Yeah, exactly. He wanted to be out there with him, you know. This myth about Gray playing 10 good is a 9. The man best games for Jamaica is from the wing. Facts. Yeah, he did it. He did it before. He might do it again. I wouldn't do it again, especially since he's back in form as a winger. Just let him play there. If you want to start Sifa, start him, but just bring on Gray when Sifa's tired. Then simple. Don't force him into the 10. Frey, Anderson, Reed. I don't hate that. I don't hate that, you know, because I can't even tell Anderson and Reed for interchange. When Bobby say Frey need more help there, him can tell Karai, hey, push up. And Karai would have said, thank you, you know, from when more play higher up for Jamaica. So Gooner, who is your 10? So my ideal right now with this midfield, I would go with Ian Frey, Bobby Reed, and John Russell in the 10. That's what I would do. And I would let Karai keep his same role. Bobby Reed did a lot of running, Ian Frey, and travel, whatever. I want Ian to play again, second game, take him off. I would bring Karai on, 25 minutes left. Get on the ball, Karai. Try to dictate the play. Same thing. Don't change him role. If he did well in that role, give him the role again. Russell has been hiding from the ball in the past few games. Bobby has to take over the middle. That's what I'm saying. I want Bobby play deeper to kind of receive the ball more. I want a Russell skill set going in the box late, brother. Me not bench him. Especially since the other one who I would play in 10 is Casey Palmer ain't playing or isn't available. Yeah, man, this is my 3 right there. But I would play Frey and Reed deeper in the midfield with Russell as a lone 10. So I would play double pivot. Who off the left? In this Curacao game, I'm going to go with Gray, and I'm going to go with Tyrese Campbell, John Russell, central, attacking, and I'm going to start Kadamartri. And then you see second half now, I'm going to make a triple sub. I'm going to bring on Lone Speed, Burrell, Cephas, and Dixon, triple sub. Freshen it up. Yeah, man. And as Demo would have said, your favorite term, bring on the finishers. Frey and Anderson should not be played together. Not necessary. Yeah, I wouldn't start them. It'd be one or the other. And I would go with even though Frey is newer in the team, I would still keep Anderson in his role that he did the last time. I don't think he trusts him all the way to start him, but I think he trusts him to come on and shore up things when he needs it to. Cephas, Kada, and Gray. I don't trust King and Pinnock. Kind of not on form at the moment. So people are dropped them squad. All right, so look, forward line people. Midfield, I would love Tyrese Hall to be there. I'm going to be honest with you. I've called out a bunch of midfield scenarios. None of them never include Anglin starting. And yeah, I don't know, man. He's a decent player. He's decent. He's improved since he's been at Mount Pleasant. I will be honest and give him that. I know he have good range shots, which that is literally a Jamaican fan favorite thing about midfielder. The man scorer, the man take a shot from. Trust me, Africans kick from far for people right here in Jamaica. But yeah, angling is angling, yeah, man. So yeah, for me, the forward line, look, I'm happy with the first 3 names there. I think, there's only one other name not there that I would consider right now, and that would be Trevante Stewart. I also would consider Javon East as well. I mean, every time I think of Stewart, I think of East just because they're in the same league now in Israel. But Javon East is a good asset. The same kind of versatility that Latibodier brings in that defensive and midfield area. That's the same kind of versatility that Javon East would bring. I mean, he's comfortable playing off either wing. He can play as a lone striker in a 2. I've seen him play behind the striker as well in a 4-2-3-1. So he can play all kind of different positions. And You know, I don't know if I think some of these omissions, the Daniel Johnsons, the Trevante Stewarts, I have to think at this point that it is factors beyond the field of play, because if we're just basing it off a field of play, those names for so long could not have not made these squads, you know, and the way his face lit up when he was asked about the player, and yes, we've been tracking him, and it's like that's like the kiss of death. If the man tell you that he's been tracking you, then I think he's just explaining that after not picking you, you know. So you don't really want to hear that he's looking for you and he's been looking at you, because that don't mean a thing. So people, all in all, when I look at this entire squad, the thing that I look at the most is balanced. How balanced is it? And I think the balance is okay. I really and truly think the balance is okay. We're talking about experience in the squad mixed in with younger players, some players more to the future, even though I think right now in Jamaica football, a lot of that future is really now. So yeah, I think that there has been heavier scrutiny placed on the composition of this squad to some I've seen in the past, mainly because I think there was a lot of thought placed and emphasis placed on, you know, like for likes versus change of pace type of subs. You know, I love that not every player has the same characteristics that I see in this team. You know, Cephas is your speedster, your sprinter. Damari is fast, but he's not going to play the game that way at 100 miles an hour. He's going to retain the ball more, combine more. So that's right there. Boom. That's a balance on your left wing. It's like Martinelli, Trossard. They ain't the same, but certain games require that skill set, you know? So at least the coach has those two skill sets to work with on that left wing. And you see examples of that throughout the squad. So look, I'm not gonna lie, when the squad came out, I reached out to those that I know that are close to the program, and I said to all of them, for the most part, you know, congrats to the technical staff on the squad. Look, like any other squad, I can say yes, there are 1-2 changes I would make personally, and I've alluded to some of those throughout the show. But let me be honest with you, there aren't that many there that I'm saying, oh, you know, most of these picks I can understand, whether it's a Latibo there that I've heard some people come out and say, boy, him get picked off a training. The way the man answered the question is how I would, if I have never listened to this press conference tonight, I would have said Latibo there is in the team because the coach trusts him and he can play multiple positions. And he literally said that. The one thing that he said that I didn't say and I maybe wouldn't have said without being you know, prompted to go that direction is that his professionalism is second to none, which I know that to be a fact. I just may not have brought that up just out of the blue, but that is true, right? And any other player that people might have a problem with seeing there, that's not going to change in November, in March, and it definitely ain't going to change at World Cup time when we're picking a squad after we met the World Cup, right? So look, I can be fair and say I have, on an anger scale, I have seen squads come out, I'm at like a 20 in terms of how angry I am. I didn't have those emotions this time. I at least found myself this time trying to make sense of the picks more so because there's only like a few out of left field, like I didn't see that coming, or I'm questioning why would they do this. It's not as many in this squad. So look, I'm gonna be honest, man. Decent job with the damn squad. Decent job. You know, like I said, it's not perfect, but by no means is it perfect. But I think the squad is decent, bro. Honestly, I think the squad is decent. I think the striker pool, you know, it's a kind of familiarity scene right now. You know, Burrell was out of the fold but come back in. Coach knows him. Shamar came back in last time with Kadamarti as well, and they both scored in the window, so it would have been hard to drop them. And then, like I said, the one eyebrow raiser in the squad probably is Seymour Reed. You know, I wasn't as surprised about Frey because I did get see the interview with him saying, you know, this window all good to go. He'll be there. Yeah, I give this squad, Dima, if you're gonna rate it, you gave it a 7 out of 10. I'll give it a 0.5. I'll give it a 0.5 because I think for once we actually have midfield coverage, you know. So right off the bat, I give out extra 0.5 for that. So I'd say 7.5 out of 10. You know, still some things I would change, but I think the amount of things I would change this time is less than average. You know what I'm saying? Bring Dixon for Cephas on the right wing, second half. Burrell center forward, and Lee is your left wing, left width, second half. Then you pull D Gray. Okay. My 11: Blake, Lee, Pinnock, Dexter, Anderson. Wait, Blake, Lee, Pinnock, Dexter, Anderson. 6.5 out of 10. The Lambert and DJ thing really threw me off. So too East and Trevante. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some players that you could argue for sure, and it wouldn't even have to be a long argument. But you know, typically, Demo, in my brain, when these squads come out, you see how you have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 names. I could almost say 10 names and like, yo, this man should be there over this man. But it ain't as bad as some I've seen, you know. It probably isn't coincidental. This is probably the most important window. That's true. That I would have really made sure the Dutch team is no team to play around with. Yes, speaking of this Dutch team, because I've pretty much gone through my reaction for the most part, I wanted to just touch on all the Group B teams with a main focus, obviously, on the two teams we're going to play, and that's Curacao and Bermuda. Sorry, brain freeze. All right, so we have the team news for Curacao. Okay, so they put out a squad of players, and they did bring in a couple of new players. Let me show you guys the actual list of team here. Let me stop sharing this. People, remember, smash up the like button. Still over 100 of you legends in the building, past almost to 1 o'clock my time. So the people are really there. This is like an original Jason Gooner show because we're up late in the night. I give you the content. All right, so let me do this really quickly, people, because it'll get late and man's have a long week ahead of me. Have a long drive late in the week. Get for actually bringing some content from a whole nother state, a whole nother location this week. So it should be fun. I'll definitely find somewhere I can live stream the game, or at the very least do a reaction after the game. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But this is the Curacao squad on their IG. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see these people a little bit better. So these are the players for the October window, and I have some team news as well because we have had some players have to pull out for them. So these are the players in the squad though, and I'm just gonna read off the list that I have here. So I have them listed: goalkeeper Eloy Room, he's typically the number 1. Interestingly enough, he's been around forever. We have played him in the Gold Cup before. I think that game we played them a long time ago in the Gold Cup, he was the goalkeeper that day. He's unattached currently, people. So you know, there are unattached players out here in this CONCACAF qualifiers, right? Then we have Trevor Dornbush. He's at VVV Venlo. He's the second string goalkeeper. And some fans I've heard are thinking, you know, maybe is it time to give Eloy a break and try one of these younger goalkeepers. So Trevor next in line, and Leandro Merencia, he's at FC 20. So 2 keepers, you know, currently with clubs, you know, playing backup roles right now to the veteran, and typically when he's on the pitch, well, not true, because my boy is actually the captain when he's on the pitch. My boy name again, man. To him there. Oh, him there, not playing any team. 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. Oh, where are you going? Yes. All right, so then we have defenders. We have Bazor from Konyaspor, Turkish First Division. Joshua Brennett, he's a new arrival. He was not in the last camp, and he's also unattached. Then we have Van Ejima. He's from Walwick in Netherlands, of course. Floranos at Zwolle, PC Zwolle. Abba FC in Saudi Arabia is Gary. He's in the team as well. And he actually scored the goal the last time the two teams met in 2019. Armando Obispo, he's a brand new player, center back. He's from PSV, so very good reinforcements coming into the center back line. We'll see what he will add. I think Curacao did need reinforcements on the back line, and I think they definitely still need a striker. Don't know if they were able to get that sorted this window, but I think that's something that's definitely missing from their Arsenal. Sharandi Sambo, all action on that defense line. He's from Sparta Rotterdam. He's back in. Had a very good window in the first window, I thought. Then we have Juninho Bakuna and Leandro Bakuna, the brothers. They're both playing in Turkey now. Leandro, the elder, the captain currently of the team. And yeah, he will be there. Now, this is the squad as it was named at first. And you can see on the screen there a player with a large curly afro, who some of you might know as a lot of you Jamaicans are United stands. Tahit Chang, currently at Sheffield United. But he actually will not be able to play because he picked up a knee injury and will be out for about 6 to 8 weeks, which more than likely will put him out for the rest of the qualifying campaign, which is a big blow to them. Scored 2 goals in their 3-2 win against Bermuda, and did affect the game greatly when he came on in the Trinidad game away from home as well. So a big loss, and you never wish this on any opponent, but the timing of it really does help Jamaica. Comencia from FC Zurich, workmanlike in that midfield. I expect him to start in that midfield engine room. Kevin Felida from Den Bosch in the squad as well. Arjani Marta from Rotherham United. He's in the mix as well. Talented player there. Then we have Tyrese Nutlin from Telstar. He did get one of the goals as well that day. Came off the bench to score. Noslin did in that 3-2 win. And then we have Godfried Romerato. He's from RKC Valvik. So all these players either in Arrested Divisie, the second division, or the Eredivisie, the first division for the most part. And of course, a couple players in the champ. We have some players in the Turkish first division, Turkish Pro League, I should say, the Bakuna brothers. So yeah, man, the players all over the place. And the forwards are definitely even more all over the place. So Antonis, he's in Greece. Very talented player, actually, Jeremy Antonis. One that we're going to have to watch out for on that flank. Can turn up also a little bit more central, but I think he does his best work on the wing. Kenji Gore, obviously the son of Dean Ore, but he's at Maccabi Haifa with none other than Trevante Stewart. As a matter of fact, Trevante's first goal for Maccabi Haifa, he can thank Kenji Hori for putting the cross in for him, right? So yeah, I think Kenji has kind of taken a finisher's role with this Curacao national team. So we'll see if this go around the coach entrusts him to start or not. Hansen from Millsborough, new player, and he definitely, I think, will come into the team and play right away. He's a forward. When you look at his overall history as a player, he pretty much has played like he's at Millsborough right now. He's only 23 years of age, and he's really and truly a winger. But I just wonder, with the needs that they have right now, would they even consider trying to play him through the middle? He's not the biggest player in the world, but he's definitely very quick. And yeah, I just don't know if he has the size to play centrally. I'm not sure. I don't think that would be ideal for him, But yeah, he's playing, getting game time at Millsborough, and I think, he's a player that maybe they slot him right in on one of those flanks, could be a possibility there. Then we have Castaner. He's playing in Indonesia, veteran now, striker. Used to be a very good striker. Still has a lot of talent, but I think past his best. I think same goes for Jurgen Locadia. At times he was, a very, very good striker as well in his career, but he's all the way down in the Spain 4th division at this point, really in the twilight of his career. And then Margarita, he's in Belgium, so he's actually one of the better recruits that they have gotten of late, Jerry Margarita, and he is, like I said, playing in Belgium, and he's in the Challenger Pro League, so he's in the second division over there. But yeah, he's doing really well this season. Margarita is another winger. So it's going to really come down to Margarita, Anthony's, or Hansen. Do you want to start him right away or not? But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he decides to go with. The makeup of the team is, I think, 6 Eredivisie, 2 Eerste-Divisie, 2 Championship, and 1 League One player. And if you ever want a trivia question to ask, of all these players here on this screen, there's only one member of this squad that was actually born in Curacao. Do you know who that is going to be? The one who they just recently got, and the one who's recently injured as well. So Tahit Chang is actually the only player on this entire list that's actually born in Curacao. Can you imagine that? It doesn't really matter, but at the start, that was a crazy fact, So here they are congratulating Hansen and Obispo on their first call-ups. Showing the highlights from the last time we played them. And then Jaden Candelaria is the one who got called up to replace Tahit Chang. So what do we know about Jaden? So we know that Jaden is I think he plays for NAC in Holland, but let me see. Jaden Candelaria, he plays for NAC Breda. He's a defender. He's a left back by trade. He's 6 foot tall, so could play center back as well. But yeah, he plays in the Eredivisie. Hasn't really made many appearances. He did play the first game of the season, coming off the bench for 11 minutes. But since then has only been able to feature as an unused substitute. So not getting the most game time in the world. He did make a transfer from Feyenoord U21s, and basically making his bow into first team football at the age of 21, and seemingly pledging his future to Curacao moving forward. So some good additions, some that might not be able to affect this window as much as Curacao would like, but definitely steps in the right direction as far as their recruitment goes. And like I said, I mean, they are not really bashful about getting these players in. There's literally only one player on this squad that actually was born in Curacao. So that's yeah, I would agree. I would agree that the back line is probably what is the weakest, but I will say that they know that as well, because they have brought in Obispo, who I think will come in and start right away, right? They have brought in Candelaria for a more attacking player in Tahith Chong. So they still realize, even with the pool they picked before, that they probably need reinforcements there. So yeah, man, it is it is interesting to just take a look at Curacao. And of course, we're playing them on Friday. So Gooner TV, you don't know, we'll load up all the names, get the tactical board ready, and I will show you guys tactically, based on what I've seen of them, how they plan to set up, and how we can set up to kind of nullify what they're going to bring to the table. All right, so look out for that later in the week. We try to give it to you match day -1. We might have to tweak it and do a match day -2, but I will try to make thumbnails as early as possible and get the word out there as early as possible. All right, we're coming up to 2 hours and 30 minutes, so let me hurry up now and just get the other 2 teams on the screen for you. So let's go to Bermuda. I think I have them saved on here. Bermuda. Yeah, here we go. So the BFA put out their squad, and maybe they didn't put it on here. Did they not? I have it somewhere else. Okay, here we go. Tripping. All right, so this is when this came out, 3 days ago. All right, cool. So Dale, Eve, Dietrich, Bell, Colbridge, Fuller. Yep, so all these players play either National League or non-league football. Well, National League is non-league, so play non-league for the most part. I'll tell you which ones do. All right, so all three of the goalkeepers play over in England: Binfield, Stratford Town, North Village. We have defenders Dante Leverock, Kieran Richardson, Harriet White, Reese Jones, Jenny Butterfield Steed, Julian Carpenter, Justin Danawa, Lejean Simmons, and Denise Hill. So pretty much the same squad, looking like just about the same squad. I think they have one player out due to injury, and that's the player Burgess. But everybody else that was there before is back again. These are the defenders. Moving into the midfielders: Andy Todd, Willie Clemens, Keziah Martin, Razir Smith-Jones, Roger Lee, and Jay Tucker. And then we have forwards Naki Wells, captain, Kane Crislow, Zico Lewis. Didn't feature in the first game against us because he was on suspension. Did play in the second game against Curacao. Much better showing. Reggie Lamb, Jar Parfit, I thought he was their most dangerous player on the day, as well as Naki Wells when we played them. But I think I was really impressed with Parfit's speed and aggression going forward, and Enrique Russell, another one listed there as well. So Bermuda only one change. Bermuda doesn't have the hugest player pool, so to be expected. And then even though we do not face this team coming up here, I know TNT FA dropped theirs, I think, today. So they dropped it even a day after us. But let's see. Here we go. So we have Trinidad's 20, I think it's 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so they actually named a 26-man squad. And we have Wayne Frederick II, Dante Seeley, Justin Obiku, Justin Garcia, Andre Rampasad, Rio Cardines, Real Gill, Jabari St. Hilaire, Denzel Smith, Noah Powder, Kyle Ovray back in the team again, Isaiah Lee, Malik Khan. That's a name that I've heard floated around for a long time for Trinidad and Tobago, and I have yet to see him play. But he's supposed to be a very good talent. He's just 21 years of age currently, and he's over at Trenton. I think Trenton, which one of our players was there? Was it Leon who was there? Was it Leon that was at Trenton for a little while? Let me know in the comment section, because that's why that name sounds so familiar to me. But yeah, he's doing really well at Trenton, and I think Dwight York, when I watched something about him and the squad, he was just basically saying, was really supposed to be a part of the September window, but got a niggle at the worst possible time. So yeah, it sounds familiar to some of the things we hear, but it is a part of it, man. Guys do get injured when it's time to go on duty, and that's just something that's gonna happen. It could happen to anybody. All right, so Malik Khan, exciting player, central midfielder. I think they can use some new blood in there, so this should be a good pickup for them. Jabari Bryce in there as well. Darren Payne, Kobe Henry had a tough game in the office, but I think he's a good player. Jaren Jackie, Josiah Trimingham also had a couple mistakes in the office. I think he's a good player too, though. Andre Raymond really didn't feature in the last window. Noah Power took his spot at left back, which was surprising to me. Stephen Yates started in the midfield against us. Was relatively quiet, I thought. I thought they did miss Kevin Molina that day. Daniel Phillips, Molina should be back from their suspension for sure. Nat James came on and, as usual, provided some kind of a threat in the stadium. Levi Garcia, back in the team. I think it's a tough one for the manager, because for me, I think Levi Garcia would be way more effective if he played wide. But you have Spicer, you have Seeley. Do you really want to bench one of those three players just because you don't want Levi to play striker? Even though I think he can play striker just fine, which he can and will. But the argument could be made. Maybe Levi is unlocked even more if you play him in his preferred spot off the right. But let's see. I don't think he'll change too much up there. I think Spicer, Seeley, and Garcia will be, make it or break it for Mr. York. I think he's identified them as the three most dangerous players when used in tandem up there. So I don't expect him to change that. You know what I mean? Look, I know the final part of the show, I got a little bit quicker with the information just because it's getting really, really late. Serial Baller say, you're still here, youth. Yeah, man, 2 hours and 33 minutes, 1 o'clock in the morning. Time for me to go my bed, people. Morning going forward before me know it. And, I still have to get up and get the kids to school and get myself ready for doing what I need to do with my life tomorrow. So just know when you see me go live on these shows, it is a bit of dedication being shown, because I could have easily just never bothered to show you tonight. But people, it is international time. So we have to get out the content, we have to get out the information. My hope is that somebody in the show tonight learned something brand new. I got confirmation of that when I told you guys about the field over in Curacao tonight. Also, my hope is also that a perspective that you may not agree with that was shared in the chat tonight, you gained a little bit more knowledge or perspective just from reading what that person said tonight. And hopefully the next time you see something you don't agree with, you can just respond with a question, a thought, as opposed to yo, go suck you. You see me? Because we don't really need to suck the people. At the end of the day, we all want the same goal, you know. All right, put it this way. In a Jamaica, and enough place, you might have a store around the road. And when me get in my car, instead of going up the road, I go down the road to make the next right there, make the next right and connect with the road way over so. But you always from U-Bahn, go up the road, make a left, make a right, boom, boom, and you forward from the other side. So are either of us wrong? If at the end of it, we reach to the same damn destination at the same damn time, I don't think either of us wrong, you know. We just have a preference, don't it? So keep that in mind, people. That's how a lot of these football arguments about reggae boys go on. It's not even, we don't even dislike the other person, nothing like that. We just don't agree with them, and we can't wait take the time to try understand why for them opinion is that way. Which is fine. Sometimes we just want to argue. But just know say the argument them unavoidable because really and truly, I think most of us want to argue with one another. We want there and express yourself and give your opinion them. So people, but just want to say maximum respect to all the people them where say something in the comment section. And I saw a lot of people disagree in the comment section tonight, but me not see no matter, me not see none of them things. So yo, that is progression, my people. Progression, my people. Yeah, man. Big up on yourself, man. We reached to the 100 likes, I believe. So thanks so much for that. Demo bust some gunshot for that and thing. But yeah, man, people, you don't know the analytics will be back later in the week. Tactical preview shows a little bit more in depth as well with some of the tactics and what I expect from some of these teams we're gonna face, especially the two we're gonna face, which are Curacao on Friday and Bermuda next Tuesday. Now, of course, in some content this week, I want to also give my thoughts on the other groups because there's some madness going on in CONCACAF in some of these groups. So the next time we come on before the tactical preview show, we'll have a little bit more about the other games in the group and also some early predictions for how I think this window will play out for the other groups. Because I ain't predicting our group until it's time to predict our damn games. All right, people? So big up on yourselves. Thanks so much again for tuning in. For all of you legends that have been here from the beginning, 2 hours and 37 minutes ago, you guys are incredible. We really do appreciate it. Anybody that passed through, dropped a like, dropped a comment. Big up, 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 big up. And yeah, man, until next time, we're out of here. We're going to get some rest. And you don't know. On this channel, you're going to hear these words. I am Jason Gooner. This is Gooner TV. And since it's international break time, usually you hear some different things. But today you're going to hear this. Yo, please. Come on, reggae boys. We can do it, my side.